Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of Max Talks Box Office here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Tindenberg. Today, I am breaking down the box office of this past weekend, which was Father's Day weekend, June the 19th to June 21st, 2026. We're also going to look at the overall numbers this year, both domestic and worldwide. And I'm going to preview all of the movies hitting theaters this weekend, which is the final box office weekend in the month of June. So welcome in everyone to Max Talks Box Office. Without further ado, guys, let's get into the numbers. I love just getting right into the video for you guys. Let's get started talking about this past weekend domestically, which was, as I said, the 19th and the 21st domestically. And starting off at number one, of course, is Toy Story 5, opening to a whopping $160 million opening weekend for Toy Story 5. Worldwide, it opened to $312 million. This is the biggest opening of 2026. This is the biggest opening of the Toy Story franchise. And it is the second biggest opening ever for a Pixar movie. Yes, Toy Story 5, all the buildup, everyone said there was going to be boffo box office due to the early numbers. It broke records for its preview Thursday night into Friday morning numbers. And here we are on Monday talking about how amazing Toy Story 5 did. As I said, it was the biggest opening in the Toy Story franchise. Toy Story 4 back in 2019 opened to around $120 million. So that beats that by $40 million. And Toy Story 5 is number 2 all time for Pixar domestic openings, only behind The Incredibles 2, which came out in 2018 and opened around $180 million. So, boffo number for Toy Story 5. This is trying to become the third consecutive main Toy Story film to get to $1 billion. The third film back in 2010 got to $1 billion, and then 9 years later in 2019, Toy Story 4 got to $1 billion. The number that Toy Story 4, though, 3 and 4 got to around domestically for those $1 billion films is around $400 to $450 million domestically. It's already at 160 in its opening weekend. Toy Story 5 is on its pathway to join the $1 billion club and continue the recent success of Disney sequels, especially for Pixar, who have released a lot of original movies over the last the last 6 years. You were talking about Turning Red. Well, that was, I guess, on Disney Plus. But if you're looking at theaters, they had Lightyear, which was a big box office disaster, and it really changed the way Pixar, even though it's a Toy Story film, easily a disaster for Pixar. Elio did not do that great last year. They do have another original movie, Engato, coming out next year. They already had Hoppers released in March of this year, but Hoppers, while it had great word of mouth, it was not that big of a box office hit after its opening weekend. But its two big hits have been Toy Story 5 here and Inside Out 2 a couple of years ago. So sequels are doing really good numbers. Not just are the sequels doing big numbers, but seemingly both from critics and audience perspectives, they are very satisfied with these sequels. Inside Out 2 was a very well-regarded movie, as is Toy Story 5. So we're going to keep tracking Toy Story 5 and beginning its climb to the $1 billion club. We only have one movie that this year, that is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So we'll see if Toy Story 5 once again will join the $1 billion club for the third consecutive Toy Story film to do so. At number 2 this past weekend from Universal is Disclosure Day. In its second weekend, it dropped 62%, $17 million for Disclosure Day. It's up to 78 domestic, 160 worldwide. Again, the budget for the movie was $115 million, so it needs to make around $280 million. That's just to break even. That means this movie needs to make another $120 million worldwide, which at this point seems pretty impossible. So seemingly Universal, it's going to be a money loser for Disclosure Day. This is a kind of a run of money losers for Spielberg at the box office. The Fabelmans did not do that great. West Side Story was a big box office bomb. And now Disclosure Day, which I wouldn't call a bomb, but I would definitely call it a box office disappointment due to its budget, the fact that the big Spielberg blockbuster. And again, we knew it was an overcrowded summer movie season. And the two big markets that are doing great at the box office this summer are family movies and horror movies. And Disclosure Day kind of fell as not a true family movie, even though it kind of is in my opinion, but it is a blockbuster film. And Disclosure Day just did not come through. So who knows? We aren't officially sure what's next on the docket for Steven Spielberg. As I said last week, I don't think this affects the careers of like Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt. This isn't a disaster, but I think Universal would have hoped for Disclosure Day to do better than it's doing. The movie that's doing way better than everyone thought, of course, is at number 3, and that is Obsession in its 6th weekend from Focus Features, dropping 25%, $14.2 million in its 6th weekend for Obsession, is up to $215 million domestic, $333 worldwide. Yes, this movie has a $750,000 budget. It has made $330 million worldwide. This movie, of course, is one of the biggest hits in the history of movies as pertains especially to independent filmmaking. What can I say? Obsession, I've been saying the same thing now. It's in theaters now for it's a month and a half. It has been in theaters, and it's still making $14 million. That is just so amazing, especially when you have Toy Story 5 making $160 for it to still be making $14 million. Unbelievable numbers. Look, Disclosure Day made $3 million more than Obsession this weekend, and Obsession has been in the theaters a month longer than Disclosure Day. Unbelievable stuff. At number 3 this past weekend, this was number 3. Number 4 is Backrooms, of course, another movie I keep talking about on this box office breakdown show. It's in its 4th weekend from A24. It dropped 36.5%, did make another $7.3 million. Backrooms is up to $175 domestic, $272 worldwide. Again, Backrooms, another unbelievable success, $10 million budget. It's also closing in on $300 million worldwide. Obsession will make more than Backrooms worldwide, but again, both movies are undoubted successes that have absolutely changed Hollywood this year. They're definitely the 2 biggest stories in Hollywood. I've talked about it now for 2 months now, so I'm going to keep things moving here on the show. At number 5 this past weekend is Scary Movie from Paramount. In its 3rd weekend, it dropped 52%, $6.7 million for Scary Movie. It's up to $97 domestic, $201 million worldwide. Even though it seems like the majority of people did not like this movie, it still made its money, guys. It's closing in on $100 million worldwide domestically. It's past $200 worldwide. I'm sure for Paramount, if Marlon Wayans and this group want to come back and make another movie, I am sure Paramount would absolutely move forward and make more entries into the Scary Movie franchise. When we look at the overall numbers domestic so far this year, Super Mario Galaxy is at number 1, Michael at 2, Project Hail Mary at 3, Devil Wears Prada is at number 4, Obsession is at number 5, Backrooms at 6, The Mandalorian and Grogu at 7, Hoppers at 8. Just in its opening weekend, Toy Story 5 is the 9th biggest movie of the year domestically, and that's just in one weekend. It's going to probably get into at least the top 4 when I talk to you guys next weekend, and then you have Avatar wrapping up the top 10. Looking at the worldwide numbers overall this year, that's when you combine the domestic and the international box office numbers. Super Mario Galaxy, as I said, is the only billion-dollar movie of the year so far. That will change very soon. Michael is up to $960. I don't think it's going to get to $1 billion, but the fact that it's already at $960, just amazing stuff. The most successful Lionsgate movie of all time. Project Hail Mary is at 3, Devil Wears Prada 2 at 4, Hoppers at 6. That's Pixar's earlier movie from this year. Obsession, number 7, Mandalorian Grogu at number 8, Toy Story 5, there it is in its opening weekend, is also the 9th biggest movie of the year worldwide. It's at least going to be into the top 6 when I talk to you guys next weekend. Backrooms is also wrapping up the things at number 10. So now let's get into the final box office weekend of the month of June here in 2025. This year is just absolutely flying by, which means we're also closing out the month of June here. So coming up this weekend, the big movie is DC's Supergirl. Hitting theaters this weekend. Embargo for that movie does not lift until Wednesday, which is the day before the movie hits theaters. So we'll see. Again, Superman crossed $600 million worldwide last year. I assume Supergirl won't come close to that, but will be a box office disaster for DC. Will fans and audiences turn on the movie? We shall see. With Supergirl is the first of two DC movies hitting theaters in 2026. We'll see if they can keep some sort of momentum going from Superman last year. Also hitting theaters this weekend is the final Jackass movie, Jackass Best and Last from Paramount. That movie is also hitting theaters this weekend. So what are you guys going to see in theaters this weekend? What did you see this past weekend? Love to hear all your thoughts down in the comments. Like this video, guys, really helps support my algorithm for the channel. Please also hit that subscribe button. We're under 25 subscribers away from my biggest milestone, 500 subscribers. So please help me get there by hitting that subscribe button. Also, subscribe to my Patreon. I'm going to be dropping exclusive videos in the month of July, depending on what tier you guys pick for. I already have a couple people on my Patreon. So starting in July, you're getting exclusive videos. So I'm sure there's a tier for you. Please subscribe to my Patreon, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.